Today we are going to talk about exponents, so make sure you have your fill-in-the-blank notes out and follow along with me. The definition of an exponent: if you have 5 to the third, 5 is your base, where 3 is your exponent. This means multiply the number 5 by itself 3 times, so 5 times 5 times 5. It said 5 raised to the third power. There are some laws of exponents that you need to know. First, multiplying exponents. If you have x to the m times x to the n, your product will be x to the m plus n. So you add the exponents here if they have the same base. Dividing exponents, if you have x to the m over x to the n, you're going to subtract your exponents. So you will have the same base raised to the m minus n power. A power raised to a power means that if you have x raised to the m also raised to the n, you're going to have x raised to the m times n. The product rule is when you have y times x raised to the n, you're going to have x to the n times y to the n. The quotient rule says that if you have x over y raised to the n, your product is going to be x to the n divided by y to the n. If you have a negative power, like x to the negative n, that's just going to be 1 over x to the n. So you keep these two numbers the same, but you change it to a fraction and put it under 1. And then if you have the zero law, x to the 0 is 1. So anything raised to the 0 power is 1. Now, how do we input exponents in the calculator? If you have y to the 2x, you'll put this in y equals and hit 2, the caret, and x. So in your calculator, can you see it? Okay, you'll have 2, hit this caret right under your clear button, and raise to the x. And then you'll graph it. So that's what y equals 2 to the x looks like. If you have something like y equals 2 to the x plus 1, you're going to follow the same steps, but be sure to put the whole exponent in parentheses. So it will look like y equals 2 raised to the parentheses x plus 1. And then the graph will look a little bit different. Okay? Okay, solving for x. We're almost done. When your bases are the same, your exponents are equal. So if you have 2x equals 2 to the 2, these bases are the same, so x is going to equal 2. And I put a smiley face there because it's super fun and easy. If your bases are different, then you need to try to simplify them so they have the same base. So if we have 3x equals 9, you can rewrite 9 as 3 squared. So you have 3 to the x equals 3 squared. So since now we have the same base, we can just make our exponents equal, so x equals 2. Now, if you want to write down any questions you might have, we'll talk about them in class. So make sure to bring your notes so you can get credit.